Today, we're talking about something that affects millions of older Americans, often in quiet ways that don't make headlines until it's too late. The title of this video is 5 Surprising Requirements Social Security Expects. Are you ready? And that question is more important than it may sound at first. Many people believe that once you qualify for Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or retirement benefits, everything runs on autopilot. You worked, you paid in, you earned it, and now the checks simply arrive every month. But the truth is more complicated. Social Security does have ongoing expectations, and some of them catch seniors off guard, especially during times of policy changes, benefit reviews, and renewed discussions about stimulus-style relief and long-term funding. In recent months, there has been a lot of discussion in Washington about protecting Social Security, adjusting benefit formulas, and making sure payments remain accurate and fair. At the same time, the Social Security Administration has been increasing reviews, updating systems, and enforcing rules that have technically existed for years, but were not always applied as strictly. None of this means your benefits are in danger by default. It does mean that understanding these expectations is one of the best ways to protect your income and your peace of mind. Let's start by clearing up one important point. These are not new laws suddenly passed overnight. Most of these requirements have always been part of the Social Security system. What has changed is enforcement, technology, and attention. As workloads increase and budgets tighten, the agency relies more heavily on paperwork accuracy, reporting timelines, and verification processes. For seniors living on fixed incomes, even a short delay or temporary suspension can be stressful. That's why preparation matters. The first surprising requirement has to do with reporting life changes, even when they seem small or unrelated to your benefits. Many people assume that Social Security only needs to know about major events, like retirement or a serious disability. In reality, the agency expects beneficiaries to report a wide range of changes that can affect eligibility or payment amounts. This can include changes in living arrangements, marital status, household income, or even who helps you manage your finances. For SSI recipients especially, income and household details matter greatly. A small pension increase, part-time work, or financial help from a family member can trigger a review if it is not properly reported. What surprises many seniors is that Social Security does not always contact you first to ask about these changes. The responsibility is placed on the beneficiary. If the agency later discovers an unreported change, it may decide that you were overpaid, even if the mistake was unintentional. Overpayments can lead to reduced future checks or requests for repayment, which can be financially painful. Staying ahead of this requirement means understanding that communication is not optional. It is part of maintaining your benefits. The second requirement involves responding to official notices on time. This sounds simple, but it is one of the most common reasons benefits are interrupted. Social Security sends letters for many reasons, including routine eligibility checks, address verification, income reviews, and benefit recalculations. Some notices require no action, but others do. The challenge is that these letters can be confusing, formal, and easy to overlook, especially if you receive a lot of mail or struggle with vision or memory issues. What makes this requirement surprising is how short some response windows can be. In certain cases, Social Security may give only a few weeks to reply. If no response is received, the agency may assume noncompliance and temporarily suspend benefits until the issue is resolved. For someone relying on Social Security as their main income, even one missed payment can create serious problems with rent, utilities, or medical expenses. Taking every notice seriously, reading it carefully, and seeking help if something is unclear is not just good practice, it is essential. The third expectation centers on identity verification and fraud prevention. In recent years, Social Security has increased its focus on protecting beneficiaries from fraud and identity theft. While this is a good thing overall, it has introduced additional steps that can surprise seniors. Periodic identity checks, account verification, and confirmations of personal information are becoming more common. Sometimes these checks happen when you try to change direct deposit information, update your address, or access your online account. For many older adults who are not comfortable with technology, this can feel intimidating. There is also understandable fear about scams, which makes some people hesitant to respond to verification requests. The important thing to understand is that Social Security expects cooperation with legitimate verification processes. Ignoring them can lead to account holds or delays. At the same time, beneficiaries must be careful to distinguish real communications from scams. This balance is not always easy, but it is part of the modern Social Security environment. Another aspect of this requirement is keeping your personal records consistent. Differences between documents, outdated information, or mismatched records can trigger reviews. Something as simple as a name variation or an old address can slow things down. Staying organized and making sure your information is accurate across systems helps reduce the risk of problems. The fourth requirement involves ongoing eligibility for disability-based benefits like SSDI and SSI. Many people believe that once disability benefits are approved, they are permanent. In reality, Social Security conducts continuing disability reviews to confirm that recipients still meet medical and financial criteria. These reviews do not happen to everyone at the same time, but they are a normal part of the system. What surprises many beneficiaries is that these reviews can occur even if your condition has not improved. The agency may request updated medical records, doctor statements, or questionnaires about daily activities. Failing to respond or missing deadlines can result in benefits being stopped, even if you are still eligible. For older beneficiaries, especially those with chronic or worsening conditions, these reviews can feel stressful and unnecessary, but they are part of the process. Understanding this requirement means knowing that documentation matters. Keeping medical appointments, maintaining records, and responding promptly to review requests can make a significant difference. It also helps to remember that these reviews are not accusations. They are administrative checks, but they do require attention. As we move forward, it's also important to briefly address stimulus discussions and broader benefit changes. While there is ongoing debate about financial relief for seniors, cost of living adjustments, and long-term funding, none of these conversations remove the day-to-day responsibilities beneficiaries have. Even if new support programs or one-time payments are approved in the future, eligibility will still depend on accurate records and compliance with existing rules. Staying informed and prepared is the best way to make sure you receive everything you're entitled to. In the next part of this video, we will continue with the final surprising requirement Social Security expects, and then we'll bring everything together with practical guidance on how seniors can protect their benefits, reduce stress, and feel more confident about the future. As we continue, let's look at the fifth surprising requirement Social Security expects, one that many people only discover after it causes a problem. This requirement involves financial management and the proper handling of benefits, especially for those who receive help managing their money. Social Security expects benefits to be used for the recipient's needs and, in some cases, requires oversight when someone else assists with finances. This is especially relevant for beneficiaries who have a representative payee, a trusted person appointed to help manage their Social Security payments. What surprises many families is how strict these expectations can be. Representative payees are required to keep records, report how funds are used, and ensure the money goes toward essentials like housing, food, medical care, and personal needs. Even well-intentioned family members can run into trouble if they are not aware of reporting responsibilities. If Social Security believes benefits are being misused or records are incomplete, it can lead to investigations, repayment demands, or a change in who manages the benefits. For seniors who manage their own finances, this requirement still matters. Social Security expects beneficiaries to safeguard their payments, report suspected fraud, and avoid arrangements that could raise questions, such as allowing others unrestricted access to accounts without documentation. As financial scams targeting seniors increase, the agency places greater emphasis on responsible benefit management. This can feel intrusive, but the goal is to protect both the individual and the system. When you look at all 5 requirements together, a clear theme emerges. Social Security is not just about eligibility at the start. It is about ongoing participation, communication, and accuracy. Many of the problems seniors experience are not due to losing eligibility, but due to misunderstandings, missed paperwork, or assumptions that no action is needed. The system relies heavily on beneficiaries to play an active role. This is particularly important during periods of economic uncertainty. Rising costs, inflation, and healthcare expenses place extra pressure on fixed incomes. Discussions about stimulus payments, supplemental relief, or expanded benefits often create hope, but they can also create confusion. Some people assume that new payments will be automatic or that rules will be relaxed. In reality, when new programs are introduced, they often come with additional verification steps. Being organized and responsive makes it easier to benefit from new opportunities rather than miss out on them. So, what can seniors do in practical terms? First, treat your Social Security benefits like a partnership. The agency provides support, but it expects cooperation. Keeping personal information up to date, opening and reading mail promptly, and asking questions when something is unclear are not signs of trouble. They are signs of responsibility. Second, don't be afraid to seek help. Trusted family members, community organizations, and advocacy groups can assist with understanding notices and completing forms, especially if health or technology barriers make things difficult. It is also wise to develop simple habits that reduce risk. Keeping copies of important documents, writing down dates when forms are sent, and following up when you do not receive confirmation can prevent small issues from becoming big ones. For those with online access, monitoring your account can help catch errors early. For those who prefer traditional methods, maintaining a folder with Social Security correspondence can be just as effective. Another important point is emotional reassurance. Many seniors feel anxious when they hear words like review, verification, or requirement. It's easy to assume the worst. In most cases, these processes are routine. They are not accusations, and they do not mean you have done something wrong. Understanding this can reduce stress and help you respond calmly and effectively. As for the future, Social Security remains a central part of retirement and disability security in the United States. Despite political debates and funding challenges, the program continues to serve millions of people every month. Staying informed about expectations does not mean living in fear. It means being prepared. When you know what is required, you are less likely to be caught off guard. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've covered. Social Security expects beneficiaries to report changes honestly and promptly, respond to official notices within required timeframes, cooperate with identity verification and fraud prevention efforts, participate in eligibility reviews when applicable, and manage benefits responsibly, especially when others are involved. None of these expectations are meant to punish seniors. They exist to ensure fairness, accuracy, and protection in a very large system. The most important takeaway is this: your benefits are not just about what you earned in the past. They are also about how you engage with the system today. Knowledge is one of the strongest tools you have. By understanding these requirements and taking simple, proactive steps, you reduce the risk of interruptions and protect the income you depend on. As we close, remember that staying informed is not about worrying every day. It's about confidence. When you know what Social Security expects, you are better equipped to respond, adapt, and advocate for yourself. This information helps you stay in control of your financial future and ensures that the support you rely on continues to work for you, not against you. Thank you for taking the time to learn, and remember that preparation today can prevent stress tomorrow. As we reach the final part of this discussion, it's important to slow down and bring everything together in a way that feels practical, calm, and empowering. Social Security can sometimes feel distant and complicated, especially when rules are explained in legal or technical language. But at its core, the system is built around a simple idea: providing steady support to people who depend on it, while asking them to stay engaged and honest in return. When you understand that balance, many of the worries surrounding requirements and reviews begin to make more sense. One of the biggest mistakes seniors make is assuming silence means safety. When months go by without hearing from Social Security, it's easy to believe that nothing needs attention. In reality, long quiet periods are normal, but they do not remove your responsibilities. Social Security operates on records, documentation, and confirmation. If something changes in your life, even gradually, it is better to be proactive than reactive. Waiting until a problem appears often makes it harder to fix. Another important point to remember is that Social Security systems today are very different from what they were 20 or 30 years ago. Automation, data matching, and electronic verification now play a major role. Information from tax records, other benefit programs, and government databases can be compared automatically. When discrepancies appear, reviews can be triggered without warning. This does not mean the system is targeting you personally. It means accuracy matters more than ever, and small inconsistencies can attract attention even if there was no intent to mislead. For older adults, especially those managing health conditions or memory challenges, this environment can feel overwhelming. That is why it is perfectly reasonable to build support around yourself. Trusted family members, caregivers, or advisors can help you stay organized and aware. Giving someone permission to help review mail, keep track of deadlines, or explain notices can be one of the smartest steps you take. Independence does not mean doing everything alone. It means making choices that protect your well-being. It is also worth addressing fear directly. Many seniors worry that making contact with Social Security will somehow open a file or invite scrutiny. In most cases, the opposite is true. Asking questions, clarifying information, and correcting mistakes early often prevents bigger issues later. Silence and avoidance are far more likely to cause problems than respectful communication. Social Security representatives deal with millions of beneficiaries, and routine questions are a normal part of their work. For those receiving disability-based benefits, patience is particularly important. Reviews can take time, and decisions are not always quick. While waiting, it's natural to worry about outcomes. Remember that many people continue receiving benefits after reviews, especially when medical conditions are ongoing. Staying responsive and thorough gives you the best chance of a smooth process. As we think about the future, it's clear that Social Security will continue to evolve. Demographic changes, economic pressures, and political decisions will shape how the program operates. But one thing is unlikely to change: the need for beneficiaries to stay informed and involved. Those who understand the system are better equipped to adapt to changes, protect their income, and avoid unnecessary stress. Before we close, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned through this entire video. You now know that Social Security expects ongoing communication, timely responses, accurate information, cooperation with verification efforts, participation in reviews when required, and responsible management of benefits. None of these expectations are designed to make life harder. They exist to keep the system functioning and to ensure support reaches the right people in the right way. The most powerful takeaway is this: your Social Security benefits are not something to fear losing without warning, but they are something to actively protect. Awareness is protection. Preparation is protection. Asking questions is protection. When you approach Social Security with knowledge and confidence, you shift from feeling vulnerable to feeling in control. As we end this video, remember that staying informed is one of the strongest tools you have as a senior. The more you understand how the system works and what it expects, the less power uncertainty has over you. This knowledge helps you safeguard your income, maintain stability, and focus on what truly matters in your life. Thank you for spending this time learning, and remember that being prepared today can make tomorrow feel far more secure.